We are live.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Lost Depths of Phandelver. I hope everyone had a fantastic week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
There you
Good. Oh, good. All right. Excellent. Well, I hope this week is the same. It's that time of year. I hope it's good. So, everyone. On a mission to hunt down a terrorizing creature known as the Swamp Horror, our party has trekked deep into the swamps of the Forbidden Reaches. Acquiring a juvenile displacer beast along the way, our adventurers are forced to take cover in a cave to escape a violent hurricane. After clearing out a colony of cave stalkers in a bloody battle and having to leave a witness some horrible visions, the cave was searched and peculiar items were found. A box containing magical black obsidian tiles bears a symbol of a skull and an axe along with the letter P, discovered alongside two silvery potions. Brandy, currently holding the amulet of Athazar, recalls a memory of a small general store where two men are discussing the payment of an item referred to as the Vessel of Endless Spring. Bunkering down for the night, by morning the storm is past, leaving the party with a decision of which place spotted earlier by bidders they were to investigate first. A small village, or a ship that seemed to be run aground on a cliff by the storm. Opting to search the ship first, our group made their way cautiously, watching the skies for the other thing that was spotted. A large blue storm drake, accompanied by another smaller one, has been flying high in the sky in a northeastern direction. And that's where we're going to begin this evening. All right. So, we left off with D1 kind of exploring. He had made his way up the kind of the side of the ship here, holding on to kind of the pieces of the ship that had fallen down onto the ground next to it, and making his way up kind of to the rear of the ship. He makes his way up and finds a series of windows, small windows. As he kind of peeks in, he notices that the windows are a bit too small to kind of allow him to slip through. What would you like to do, D1?
So I'm at sort of at the side of the boat on the top, but the window's too small for me to get through?
That's right, yeah.
Is there a way to walk around the side of it, or is that like blocking my way to get access to the ship?
So you do have... Sorry, do this for you. So you do have some options here. As you see at D1, there are a series of probably 4 or 5 windows in front of you here, kind of up near the rear of the ship here. You don't really see it too much on this image. It's kind of up a little bit past where the vines are and near the rear of the ship here. I'll ping the picture near here. And you can see they're kind of protruded out a bit from the back of the ship, kind of like an awning would be. Kind of from where you're standing, and they're probably maybe 6 inches high, maybe 15 inches across.
I'm gonna try looking through them and see if I can see like what's inside.
Sure, D1. I would say you reach up a little bit and kind of get a better grip, kind of stretch yourself up a little bit. Roll a dexterity check for me, D1, just to see how limber you are in the moment.
Dexterity.
If he's not too high up, can I give him advantage by offering for him to hold the polearm?
Sure. Oh, you actually had done that before, if I remember correctly, Ronan. So go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll that with advantage.
All right,
Yeah.
I just roll one more time then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you begin to wobble a bit.
Even worse.
Oh no! So you begin to slip a bit on a piece of vine before kind of finding your footing here. I'm not going to be an ass. I'm just trying to make it fun. You slip it. You see inside the window there, D1. Pretty oddly enough, as you kind of look down and notice that everyone saw you kind of slip and almost lose yourself. That was only. I was fishing for a natural one there, but here, let me just do this because you earned it. So as you kind of look in the window, D1, you notice a number of things throughout the cabin here, and I'll go ahead and just let you look at the screen.
Yeah, all right. So there's basically chests and barrels, maps.
It's a little too small for you to get in, but you can see in from where you're at.
Okay. I don't see any people or any sign of any life of any kind.
Roll a perception check.
Aye.
By the way, I was only fishing for a nat 1 on that dex.
Yeah.
All I was doing.
All right, let's get a perception.
12. As you kind of peer through the windows here, they seem quite dirty, D1, but you kind of use the the edge of your wrist there and kind of buff it off a bit and kind of look through, get a good look at any of the windows in front of you that you can see through, as these windows seem to be the only ones, as it were, that are not broken compared to all the other windows. A lot of the windows in here seem to be broken, glass on the ground. You don't see anything that would resemble life anywhere in here. As a matter of fact, there's sand in here, which makes sense considering the storm was kind of run ashore by this horrible storm up on this cliff. You can see there's sand in here. There's some pots broken. There's some chests that seem to be open with some various weird, odd things kind of thrown about on the floor here. You can see there's a bar across the way here with some bottles and stuff still placed in it as if they weren't even touched. There's a skull kind of sitting atop. You can see some sunlight coming up through some planks that have kind of seemingly been ripped apart up above by the storm. You can see kind of beaming down through, as well as various chests that still seem locked to you. There is a few barrels as well that seem to be upright.
Okay, so how big is the window in front of me?
The one that you're looking through is about 6 inches high by about 15 inches wide, and there's about 4 of them. You're kind of in the back of the, or if you want to use ship terms here, you are at the stern of the ship.
Of course. Obviously.
Yes. Yeah. Of course.
I mean, duh.
I will totally remember that.
You would totally know that, right? Yeah.
I totally know that.
You would totally know that.
How big is the space between the windows? And how sturdy is it?
The space between the windows. Oh, you mean like the wall itself?
Yeah.
I would say with your 12, we'll let it carry over. You would notice this, D1, pretty, like, you'd know this all too well. You're at home right now looking at this. So I'm kind of in the background adding a little bit to your perception just because of who you are and what you've done in your past. But I want you to go ahead and roll a history check for me on top of that. I'm going to add that. Let's see. Sorry, this might not make sense to some people, but it will later. Look at that. Okay, so we're going to add that on top. All right. D1, this, from what you can tell, is 100% is a galleon. This is a human galleon, from what you can tell here. And you can tell by the shape of the windows, the corners of the windows, the accents. The walls in the back here of the galleon, and as you know this to be true, because of your time on the sea.
The word galleon is such a Star Trek reference.
I know, it's hilarious. You look in the back and you notice this is probably the weakest part of the whole ship here. The walls here are not very thick. They're probably maybe 2 planks wide. 2 planks wide, as if I could describe it that way.
So I think I'm just gonna light up my. First, I'm just gonna use my boot to kick out the windows, which I'm assuming are glass.
Well, that's pretty high up above you. Do you want to use your fist or you want to use your boot?
Oh, it's up high. Okay.
You're kind of up. Yeah, you're kind of like peeking up, like with your hands and your knuckles, and kind of like peeking up.
I'll break the glass with my fist.
Okay. You can do that easily enough, and you hear the windows shatter.
Then I'm gonna try to like fully light up my thunder gauntlet, and I'm gonna start smashing at the space in between 2 of the windows.
Oh shit! All right. D1, you begin to start to pound against the wood here of the ship. You can hear down below you, Brandy, Aliva, Ronan, Grumback. They're kind of looking up at you, watching you. You can see they're probably a good 12 to 14 feet below your current position as they kind of gaze up at you and watch you. And they begin to hear the reverberation as it echoes through the trees as you hit it once. And there's a little bit of recoil, and then you hit it again, and you can feel the same kind of amount of recoil. And you understand that this is going to take a little bit for you to get through it. If you want to spend the time, we'll go ahead and spend the time, but it's going to take some time.
I'll yell down and ask, just keep an eye out if this noise is attracting anything, and I'm going to start just smashing it as hard as I can.
Does anyone down below, does anyone wish to do anything currently in the moment while D1 is hawk smashing the back of the boat?
Granny and I are still like outside, right?
Yes, you all.
I was gonna say, where am I?
I believe
in relation to what he's doing.
I think we're like still on land.
Yeah, so you are. I'm sorry, you are directly outside, down below where he is, kind of looking up. I'm sorry, let me put the marker back on. They made it a little bit more difficult recently. So let me do that. Cool. So you guys are like down here. If you
Okay.
can see.
I don't think I can shoot an Eldritch Blast at the planks to help them out.
You can certainly try.
I thought of that. I don't think Eldritch Blast targets objects, does it?
I think it only targets creatures.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on the creatures.
I know Shatter works. That's the only one I know for sure works. But that's a spell.
I will say, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, no problem.
If everyone would, aside from D1, because D1's kind of currently busy, if everyone else would just kind of give me a general perception check, please.
And I'm definitely watching Brandy to make sure she doesn't run off with that amulet.
Yeah, you got it, Aliva.
That's all I'm really doing, though.
Okay. Nice roll, Aliva. Nice. Very nice, guys. All right. So, Ronan, you kind of, after the hurricane here, you're kind of looking around. You notice there are pieces of debris. There's debris everywhere. There's pieces of things thrown about that you don't recognize as being something, from around here. It seems as though it's out of place. Seemingly some parchment. Kind of on the floor, the swamp floor, kind of maybe 30 feet from you, kind of a little bit of it. It looks as though maybe crumpled up. There's a bit of what you can see red maybe on it. Some sketching possibly or something. It's over kind of near the edge of where the forest kind of meets the nearest big body of water that you see. It's kind of a pretty big pond, maybe 40 feet wide. You can walk around it if you want to and go and get it if you'd like, but it's kind of what the only thing that kind of draws your attention currently at the moment. The surface of the water of the pond seems totally still, aside from, the random various things that are kind of scattered throughout. Yeah, I'll just give you a second here if you want to pursue that, or if there's anything else you want to do, Ronan.
Yeah, I think I'll go pick up that piece of paper.
All right, yeah, you're gonna. It's not too far away. You kind of make your way. You kind of make your way around the stern of the boat, around the back, and kind of look at the pond as you make your way. Brandy, as he kind of makes his way around, you notice as he kind of begins to walk, the swamp itself, the oversaturation of ground here. It's abundantly clear to you that the ground here is just unstable. You'll also notice as you look up at the ship that it's kind of anchored in a way by the mast that's kind of broken and laying on its side. Kind of, you can tell it's propped in such a way that it's kind of keeping it kind of, for the most part at the moment, more or less stable as to not fall off the side of the cliff, as it's kind of in the middle, balanced as you would have it. Aside from that, there are some places, Brandy, that you would see that you could probably make your way up, although it would be a little risky, and it would take a little finesse, but you might be able to get your way up there. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I'm definitely not going up there, I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
I've got a bitters for that.
Sure.
I ain't risking my own skin. But I definitely would clock it and keep it in mind and keep an eye on that.
Yeah, definitely. And you see Oliva. She is directly beside you, kind of about 5 or 6 feet away. Oliva, you're looking around here. You're still kind of invigorated by your experience with the will, which has now kind of seemingly submitted to you in a way that you feel empowered by it, connected to it almost. As you've kind of given a bit of yourself to it, you notice that there's a kind of a reward, if you will. You feel stronger. Your perception around you is almost heightened, as odd as that would seem. And in the moment here, as you look around, you notice very little life around you. The birds are kind of in trees very high above, but there doesn't seem to be any little bits of life. No eyes peeking at you, no monkey creatures in trees, no creatures kind of like looking at you from a distance. You're very perceptive as you're looking around, low to the ground. You do notice a couple of things, though, Oliva, with your great roll. There's a little hole in the bottom of the ship. It's kind of about halfway up. It's right near where it's kind of sitting on the cliff. There's like a little, maybe 5 foot by 3 foot, if that's even. It's probably a little smaller, I would say. Little hole, an entry point, if you will. You kind of noticed it pretty quickly. It's mostly covered up right now by vines and such that have been thrown around by the storm. But you can see it. It's there. It's just underneath.
Ooh, okay. I'd see that and then kind of give the rest of the ship a very dubious look. Then see the hole and then kind of hip check Brandy. Probably like at her shoulder and then kind of nod toward the hole and be like, come here real quick.
And I would look up at her and go, all right, let's go.
Nice. Okay, you're gonna go in the direction of the hole?
Yeah, I'm gonna investigate that.
Yeah, perfect.
I would follow Oliva.
Yeah,
I
that's
trust her strength for sure. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
if she's going, I'll go.
An eyesight at all times, so it's perfect.
Yeah, no, this is great. So D1, just as this happens, all of you kind of were in your current position. Ronan, you two, even though you're quite a distance now away from the boat, you're closer to the parchment. You're maybe 6 feet. You're almost there, and you all hear a bang, real loud bang. It kind of echoes through the trees just for a moment. It's the sound of wood splintering and smashing, and then you hear for a moment the sound of small. I guess the best way to describe it is small sticks hitting larger branches. As you kind of look up and you see D1 has made himself a nice little jagged hole in the upper part of the ship here between two windows. D1, you have an access port now in front of you as well.
All right, I'm gonna sort of just
Nice.
halt my way through the wall.
Nice. He kind of slithers his way down into the, and kind of finds your way and thud down onto the floor below you, D1. And just as you disappear out of sight, Ronan, Ronan, notice as you get closer to the note here, that you're really, really close to the forest's edge. You have an odd feeling, Ronan, like a feeling like something's watching you at the moment. Although you're close. Sorry?
All the time.
I'm sorry?
I said something's been watching us since we got here.
Yeah. Do you just continue? Do you just kind of want to... How do you want to approach this?
Like, if I get a weird feeling, I
Mhm.
might check and see if I can see what's... Like, I know something's staring at me. I just trust that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll peek around, see if I can see something looking at me.
Sure. You kind of continue your pace a slow bit. Slowly turn your head around a bit, Ronan. Roll a perception check for me. We'll do it this way. $14. Oh. You slowly begin to peek your head around just a bit, Ronan. And you notice just a tiny little creature about 30 feet away from you in a tree, just watching. Doesn't seem to be... It's the same monkey creatures that you have come to kind of get used to seeing around here. It seems to be keeping its distance. It's watching you, though.
I'm gonna, like, point at my eyes and then point at it.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, it doesn't seem to move. It's pretty far. You can make it out, though. It's just watching
Yeah,
you.
I'll just clock that and make my way to that paper.
Okay. You kind of get close to it, Ronan, and you pick it up from the edge of the swamp here. And just as you pick it up, Ronan, you notice right away it's some kind of a scroll. Has some kind of very odd language. It's lots of runes. You swear there's like a shimmer to some of the markings on this. It's pretty long, actually. If you were to unroll it, you could tell the scroll itself is probably maybe a good 13, 14 inches long. Kind of has a bunch of mud on the backside of it.
Just kind of dust it off and hang on to it. Go back to the boat.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to roll it up or like put it away? Okay, yeah, you roll it up and put it away, Ronan. You can feel the quality of the parchment. It's very, very good. Like the edges are curled over. Roll an Arcana check. 16. Yes, you do.
Cool.
It seems to be some kind of a spell scroll. It's just hard to know what it actually is. It's hard to read it.
Can't read it.
Yeah, but it seems pretty... It's hard to know where it even came from. Maybe it blew somewhere in from the storm. It's hard to say. All right.
I will just... I'm gonna keep eye contact with that little thing looking at me.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna walk backwards back to the boat.
All right. You continue. You turn around. You continue walking back. And just about this time, Aliva and Brandy, you get close enough to the entrance down here, like the wrecked part of the vessel, to notice that the damage is pretty extensive right here on this particular spot. You can see that this may or may not have been caused by the storm. This could have been battle damage. It's hard to know, though. It's very extensive. I would say it's up to you whether or not, however you want to approach this. If you want to go in, if you want to investigate it more, if you want to keep
And
watch.
sorry, where's Bitters right now?
Where
I think Bitters. I
don't
think
know.
when we took a rest,
Mhm.
I think Bitters was probably just vibing
Okay.
on their own. So
Gotcha.
I don't think I've necessarily called them to our presence because they're probably just hanging out somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're like kind of near you wherever you want,
Mhm.
and they'll come to you if you call them, Brandy.
Yeah, so I turned to Brady, be like, "Can your thing go in there and look around?"
My thing?
Yeah, your thing.
I don't have any things.
I'm just staring flatly. Do
We
you
might
want to stand
bel-
on my shoulders then?
Oh, actually, well, no. I've tried that before and I fell.
Well,
Well, so we're looking at a hole, right?
You
That's what
are
we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a giant, jagged kind of. It's kind of hard to explain. It's right here. It's underneath where the mast is. Is kind of, if you can see the paint.
But it's a hole into the ship.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would. No, I think I would say I'm not gonna. I think I'm feeling brave today. I think I can go in there and check it out myself.
You gonna go inside?
Oh yeah.
All right. So, Brandy, Brandy's gonna go in first. Aliva, are you gonna follow?
can I see it all inside there from where I'm standing, or would I have to climb up?
It's really dark, like pitch black actually from where you're standing. Like as Brandy kind of opens the
night vision.
vines, she does. You do. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I
But,
don't.
You can see like it's black inside as Brandy kind of opens it and begins to kind of walk in, and she kind of hesitates. Do you both kind of?
I think I would look back at her and say, I can't see anything in here.
Yeah, I think
I don't
I'd,
have a torch either.
I'd stand like literally in the whole entryway and try to glance around from there because I'm not trusting the footing, the possibility of traps. I'm gonna look around from the edge first.
Yeah. Okay. As you kind of
Contemplate throwing Brandy in and seeing what happens.
roll an
I
investigation.
do have I have a lantern.
You do have a lantern. It's true.
Like this, yeah. I was like, I know
You
I've
can
got
light it if you like.
something. Yeah, no, I think I would say, I've got just the thing for this, and I would get my little
Oh,
lantern
perfect.
out, turn
Okay.
it on.
Yeah. Yeah. Which lantern? Is it the lantern of revealing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Brandy, you begin to you kind of open the flap. You remember, ding! You remember you have like the lantern.
Yeah.
You get the oil. You kind of like fill the oil in. You get it all together, and as this is happening, Aliva, as you kind of you pause for a moment, and you begin to observe Brandy kind of take her pack off, and she kind of begins to go through it. You look at the hole here that you kind of you're contemplating going into the ship, and you notice there is burn marks with your fantastic roll. There are burn marks all around the outside edges of this hole here, as well as splintered segments of wood. And you know, just from your experience as well, this is probably caused by some kind of an artillery shell or something. That this is damage from a battle.
Okay, but the interior looks relatively well intact.
Yeah, it does. Yep, it does. It's just seemingly exterior damage that kind of breached a hole in the inside here. That, from what you can tell with your great roll again, is that it was patched at some point. That this was damage that was probably sustained a long time ago and then fixed, and then damage was sustained again near it. So this is multiple sustained damage hits, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
so if
for
it
some
looks
reason,
relatively intact, I'm not seeing any obvious traps. I'd slowly make my way inside.
Sure. Yeah. Now Brandy's lantern is lit as well, and you both kind of get your first view of the inside. Let me just do this right, and we'll get to you in just a moment, Seda.
Yeah, no, all good.
And as you kind of look inside before you... Can you see the picture?
Yes.
Okay, nice. As you kind of look inside, the first thing you notice is there are barrels just stacked everywhere. The lower portion of the ship here is crudely built. You can tell there are freshly hewn timbers, kind of that make up a lot of the bracing and supports here of the upper decks and levels. The planking down here is actually really bad too. It's of poor quality. There's chips and there's bits of dry rot and such all through here. But aside from that, there are a bit of chests. There's quite a number of barrels here, as well as some things that are covered up. There's some sacks. There's some crates and some boxes that are unlabeled. And you kind of notice not only the front of the ship or the stern of the ship, but you also notice the bow as well. As you kind of 360, kind of this is your view.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
There's a lot of stuff, yeah. And you notice there's some chains here. There's a pile of metal, just bits and bobs of metal. There's some other bits of barrels. There's some tools kind of laid out on the floor, as well as some scraps of parchment with some bits written on them as you kind of look around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I just kind of browse, but I'm not really particularly looking for anything, and I'm not super interested. I'm just more killing time while Sato does whatever he does.
Yeah, no, it's totally good. And at that, we will go up to Sato. Sato, you are now, or sorry, D1. Shit.
Yeah.
You are now in the as you look around here, you know it as the captain's quarters, which seemingly are right kind of below the main upper deck of the galleon, kind of right above where the galley would be. Their gallery would be underneath where people would eat. And you notice there's a couple of very odd, crude things here from your experience as you kind of get in here without any perception checks to begin with, because you are who you are. There's a very large captain's chest in the room here. There's no lock on it, and you know these to be a lot of these have exterior like padlocks on them, as well as a lock inside to fortify them, keep them safe. This doesn't have an exterior padlock, and it seems as though the lock itself or the chest itself is slightly open.
Yeah, I'll go to that first and I'll open that up and take a look inside.
Yeah, as you open the chest, D1, it is absolutely completely empty. There's nothing in it.
Interesting.
But you know this as being a captain's chest.
Yeah, I'll feel the bottom for like a false door.
Yeah, roll an investigation check.
Okay.
It's a 15.
Yeah.
So you kind of open the chest real wide, and you reach your hands down at the bottom, and you look for any latches or any things that you would know to be like a latch or a mechanism that would reveal a false floor. And you don't notice anything at all. There doesn't seem to be anything at all about this, except for the fact that it's just a very large chest from what you can tell.
All right, I'm going to go up to his desk and I'm going to search that for any kind of keys or notebooks or anything.
All right. Yeah, sure. As soon as you kind of walk closer to the back of the area here where the bottles and such are, you notice there is a couple of things. There's a door next to you that kind of leads off next to the captain's room here where you're standing, which you find a couple of things puzzling as you kind of look around now. D1, you have a better look at the room here. There is no bed in this room, which you find very odd. Normally a captain's quarters would it would be their chambers. There'd be a bed and a wardrobe and such. There's no table here. There's no bed. There's no wardrobe. Just bottles, barrels, chests.
Okay, I'm gonna
door.
Continue searching through the desk.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. D1, roll Another investigation check for me. One more. And then we'll go back to Ronan. Just a moment here.
16.
That's a 16. You begin to kind of like ruffle around into the drawers here, D1. There's a desk here that has about 6 different drawers on the side, and then kind of one in the middle that you pull out. And all of the drawers seem mostly empty. There's a couple of little pieces of like there's some berries that you can tell are mostly like dried up in one of the corner of one of the drawers. But in the bottom of the lowest drawer, it seems a little odd. There's the bottom of the drawer is kind of a little bit cockeyed. As soon as you open the drawer, you notice, like almost as if it does have a false bottom, but somebody put it in a little bit wrong.
Yeah, I'll definitely remove that and take a look for sure.
Yeah, you do. There's a key. It's a fairly simple key. It's wrought iron. It's black. There's no symbols or anything on it. It's 4 prongs on it, which just seems to be a lot for a key.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely grab that.
Okay. Yep. 4-pronged key in your inventory.
Okay.
Add that to your stuff. And as you do this, Ronan, we're going to go back to you for a moment here. One moment. Still try to navigate this new. It's not too bad, actually.
Damn, Roll20 changing stuff again.
They do. Like every week they change stuff, and then I don't know about it until until like the night we play, because I usually do a lot of prep, like in big chunks, you know. So, anyway, all right, Ronan, you make your way back around the backside of the ship here. D1 is now kind of inside. You notice that there's a big hole that he's made for himself, and he's slipped in. And as you kind of come around the back here, the creature in the tree comes out of view. It's kind of now blocked, obscured by the foliage in front of it. As the trees kind of they gets more dense in front of you, and you kind of lose sight of it. You continue walking forward, and you notice that both Brandy and Oliva are both gone, as well as D1. As you kind of walk around the backside, the stern of the galleon here, you look up and you see how massive this thing is, Ronan. This picture doesn't really do it much justice, but now that you have a good look at it, you can see how huge the ship is, and you can also see how dangerous, how it's just kind of hanging, balanced almost directly in the middle of the ship, with the back on the land section and the front of the ship, or the bow of the ship kind of almost completely just hanging off the cliff. So if you were on the ship all the way in the front, all the way at the bow of the ship, looking down, you would just see it'd be a cliff, and there'd be, 100 feet, maybe 2.
Oh, fucking ball.
So you kind of look over and you see it's pretty far down. There's ocean below it, a lot of jagged rocks down there. And you can tell that the ship most definitely came to be here perched on this spot, probably by a very large wave or something that put it here. What would you like to do, Ronan?
I think I would just put my back up against the back of the boat and just kind of hang out.
Yeah, right kind of by the rudder there.
Sure.
Okay.
And just have my back up against something solid.
Sure. Yeah, you kind of like put your back up against it. And as you kind of look around, look in the sky, it's almost too peaceful, Ronan. It's like there was chaos not 3 hours ago in this very spot, and you sense calmness. Roll a general perception check for me. Get 13. It seems as though the storm is is gone. It's not even drizzling, Ronan. The sun is kind of peeked out through the clouds. You can feel the warmth kind of on your robe from the outside, from the sun, kind of beating down. You can see almost swear that you can see the evaporation, happening from the leaves and then the grass and such, just right as it's happening, because it's the heat is starting to build in the swamp here, and to the point where it's not overwhelming yet, but you can tell it's going to be a muggy day. From what you can tell as you stand here, just keeping watch. And in the moment, we're going to go back to Brandy and Oliva here, if we can. And I would like to make sure I know what I'm doing here. Kind of give you guys an opportunity here to kind of do whatever you'd like as you kind of look around here. In the moment here, you're looking at the bow of the ship in that direction, and there seems to be a staircase as well leading up into another section, as well as behind you. As you look there, you can see there's netting, as well as some other things.
Well, I think I would, we're just kind of killing time here. I don't want to waste too much time in here, but, so I'd go for the valuable items, and, if there's any treasure chests, I'm opening them all.
Well, there's a couple of them down here. The largest one that you can see, Brandy, without even a perception check, just from walking in here from your initial observation, is there's a very large chest all the way at the bow of the ship.
Ominous.
Yeah. It's pretty far ahead. It's probably maybe 25, 30 feet from your current position.
Well, I mean, I think I would want to venture out, but I definitely would be taking some ginger steps on this shitty-looking floor.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. You can tell there are bits
I'm lightweight, so I'm like, okay, if I think I could try and walk across this and see how it goes, because I really want to see what's in that big treasure chest.
No, definitely. And the closer you get, Brandy, the more amazing it appears to be. As you kind of tiptoe your way around pieces of floor, roll a dexterity check for me, Brandy. We're just gonna see how good you're.
Yeah, how am I feeling tonight?
Oh,
not very
good. As Brandy begins to step between bits here and there, clearly pieces thrown around by the storm, by the ship being thrown around in the storm. You get to a couple of planks that are very questionable, and then you walk on them. You're pretty little. You walk on them. You can hear the cracks and the creaks from the floorboards below you, as well as above you. For an odd reason, that every once in a while you hear just a somewhere along the roof from your current position, Brandy. As you get closer to the back here, or rather the front of the ship, there's a bit of sound that happens just from the ship. It's kind of talking to you in a way, if you want to look at it that way, like the wood creaking here and there, settling maybe on its new foundation on the edge of the cliff. As you kind of get closer. Oliva, what are you doing at the moment? Uh-oh. Are you there? Am I there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I had
That's
my
all
mic
right.
off.
No worries.
Thinking to myself.
Yeah.
I think I would bypass chest, leads except the Brandy, and I would go toward the back where the netting is, where I can see the light coming from.
Oh, okay. So Brandy currently is heading towards the bow of the ship, which is what we're looking at.
Okay.
And she's heading towards that chest. Are you going in that direction?
I'd pass
too?
her. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're gonna go past her.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna speed past her. That's great.
Well, I mean, I'm just walking past. She's looking through the chest. I just kind of ignore the chest and keep walking.
Yeah. So she's heading towards. I think maybe I'm wrong. She's heading towards the furthest, biggest chest. That seems to be seated at the very bow of the ship. That's where she's heading currently. Yeah.
Okay.
So is that what you're doing too?
Yeah, I'd be looking around the same area. I'm not going to go far.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm
Okay,
curious
perfect.
more about like the things elsewise in the ship and like looking up and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. Roll a perception check for me. I'd like both of you to, if you could. Lots of perception checks today.
Lots of looking around going on.
Lots of looking around. Yeah. Oh, nice. That's a dirty 20. That's very nice, and a 24. Perfect. So you begin to kind of make your way slowly, kind of towards the bow of the ship here, and you notice all of the barrels all around you. Most of them are unmarked. There are a few that have some branding on them. Right away, Brandy, you notice that these are probably ale kegs. There are smaller ones as well, casks, and the smaller ones, from what you can tell, are probably wine. And there's a whole stack of them in the bow of the ship, just to the left up here.
I'm gonna take one of those later.
Yeah, they're all stacked up. As a matter of fact, as you kind
Put
of
it in my bag of.
you could take one or two and put them in there. I mean, they're pretty small. You notice there's a strange brand. Seems to be a star with a J, kind of up at maybe the 2 o'clock at the star's position at maybe 2 o'clock. There's a J, so a star with like a J at like 2 o'clock. And they're branded on like maybe 12 or 13 of these casks that are here. And you continue to kind of move forward here. Aliva, you notice a couple of things too as you're walking. There's a weapons rack just to your right as you kind of make your way further down towards the bow here. The weapons rack actually has some interesting things on it that you've only heard legends of. You've never actually seen them, Aliva. They're these creations that you kind of put a charge in, and it fires a projectile. It's quite a feat. Kind of similar to a crossbow.
Ooh, okay.
Did you just find a musket or a blunderbuss?
Pardon?
Find a gun?
The scorpion.
That would be great.
Game of Thrones.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty curious, especially because we did see, what are the drakes flying in the sky earlier? So I'm like,
Sure, yeah.
Maybe good to keep an eye on. But
yeah, there's probably 5 of them kind of lined up here on this rack.
Yeah.
There's
and
also
now I'm
like
remembering the fire damage to the outside of the hull of the ship. So
yeah.
I'm like, oh. I think I know what happened. That's not good. Yeah. So I look over to see if Brandy even notices or if she's too absorbed with the chest. And...
Oh, she's looking at the casks of wine right now. They're definitely like they're stacked higher than her. She's like looking all the way up top.
I'm perusing.
They seem to have little.
Eyes.
Yeah, she's like down low. Brandy, you can even see a little. What does this one looks like? A strawberry? This one looks like a grapevine. This one looks like. Could that be probably a peach? You kind of observe here, and we're gonna go ahead and go back up to D1 at the moment. Kind of give him a moment here to kind of continue his perusing here, his exploring of the room here, D1. As you kind of notice, after kind of eyeballing around the room here, you notice the maps as well on the floor. They're kind of, on top of maybe an inch or two of sand in some of the areas here, which you find very interesting. There's sand in here, but it makes sense considering that the ship was tossed around at sea, or rather before. Is there anything else you'd like to do in this room? You do notice the door beside you that actually...
Yeah, I think before checking the maps, I'll definitely go to the door first.
Yeah, the door seems to open up to you if you want to kind of swing it open.
Yeah, I'll definitely open it up and just having my wits about me in case anybody's down there hiding out.
Sure.
The actual Mona Lisa. Well, I'm grabbing that.
The actual Mona Lisa.
I don't know. Is that a ship or a person?
So you look in, D1. Get a very good look. You open the door here, and the door kind of swings into a very narrow kind of room here. As you kind of get a good view of between stern and bow of the ship, there are many paintings here, portraits, landscapes, oil paintings. They seem valuable to you, although they're sitting here in this mess of a ship. As you kind of look around the room here, you kind of look behind you and you notice the same thing. There's another chamber that kind of reaches up into an upper level, D1, and there are also valuables in here as well. You can notice sorry for the torches and the candles on the walls. Like they shouldn't actually be lit, but you know how it goes.
We get it, yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of walk into the room here, and you notice as soon as you do, there's an ominous feeling.
All right, well, I'm not going to necessarily pay too much attention to the paintings, but I'll look around for any other objects that look valuable.
Yeah, I would say roll just a general perception check for me, I guess, then. If you're just looking for, just to see if there's anything here that...
Yeah.
See how thorough you are.
Pretty fucking thorough.
23.
23, nice roll, D1. You kind of walk in all the way up against the wall here, and you look up, and there's a hole noticeably above you, to the deck above you here. It seems to be damage of some sort caused by maybe, it's really hard to know. It doesn't seem to have the hallmarks of fire damage or anything like that. It just seems to be shattered, which is odd. But nevertheless there's a hole there. All the paintings here are exquisite. They're beautiful. They seem to be mostly naval themes here. Behind the picture, all the way against the wall here of the very large ship that you see, you kind of bring it forward a bit, put your hand back there, and as soon as you do, you hear a clink, clink, clink down that falls down onto the planks below. It's another key, D1. This one is slightly rusted. It's probably comprised of just steel. There's a little mark on it. It seems to be a half moon that protrudes from it. This is just a normal key, maybe for a door or for a chest or something.
Got it. I'll definitely pocket the other key for sure.
Okay.
And then, do I know that Oliva and Brandy are on the ship yet?
You do not.
Okay. I'm gonna try to make my way up onto the main deck of the ship.
All right. You're gonna crawl. You're gonna crawl through the hole there, or are you going to?
Yeah, if I can reach the planks and pull myself up, I'll do that.
There's this too. There's this as well.
Staircase.
So you can go up the staircase if you'd like, and investigate further.
Yeah, I'll go up the staircase and definitely see if I can get to the main deck.
Sure. You do. You go up the staircase, D1. There's a bed up here. You finally found a bed. It's here, along with kind of a long dresser, many drawers. There's also seems to be a wardrobe in the corner, along with another desk kind of across the room with a map scrawled out on it. The desk also has several drawers as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely go to the desk and look through that for any items for sure.
Yeah, the desk is mostly, just from what you can tell, quills, parchment. There's ink in here. There's probably 4 or 5 ink wells. There's a lot of stuff here if you wanted to take it for your own investments.
Yeah, if there's a really nice quill, I'll take that.
Oh, there's probably 5 quills in the drawer here. All of them are really very nice. There's probably 6 inkwells total. And there's probably, if you were to count them, there's probably about 60 pieces of individual parchment.
Yeah, I'll definitely grab all that and shove it.
You
in
just
my
gotta,
bag.
yep.
Yeah.
As soon as you grab the parchment from the drawer, D1, you notice that there's a key underneath the bottom parchment.
Nice.
There's and you keep finding all these keys.
Yeah.
This key is it's a copper key.
Okay.
Just a little copper key.
Got it. Yeah, I'll grab that for sure too.
Okay, sorry. Just want to make sure my notes are right. Okay. Yeah, and there's not really anything else in the desk. There's a map on the desk itself, and the map is like some kind of a coastline. You're assuming it's probably the coastline of where you currently are. You can see there's a little cove. You're assuming that might be where you are right now, but it's pretty far from where they have the navigation lines etched onto the map, from what you can tell. Which is a thing that seafaring folk do to kind of navigate their course and such. And you can tell where they were heading and probably where they were coming from just by looking at the map here. And they were definitely way off course from what you can tell.
Okay. I'll probably just leave the map there.
Okay. The bed is mostly made. It's pretty extravagant fabrics on the bed here. Red crushed velvet kind of all over the bed everywhere. There's pillows, blankets. There's multiple layers of blankets here. There's a pretty big chest in the corner as well. Now that you're a little closer, you can see many locks on the front of it.
Okay, I'll go up to the chest and I'll try the 3 keys that I have found on the locks of the chest.
Sure. The first key that you found doesn't seem to fit in. It's too big. The second, the steel key that's a little rusted, it fits in, but it doesn't turn in any of the 3 keyholes. And the copper key that you put in, it just too small. Doesn't really seem to make a difference.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out my thieves' tools and I'm gonna try to pick the locks.
Yeah. So, which lock do you want to try and pick first?
So there's 3 on the one chest.
There's 3 holes. Yeah.
We'll try the center one first.
Sure. All right. Go ahead and roll a
Thieves' tools.
thieves. Yeah.
Here goes nothing. 21.
It's a 21. As you begin to kind of fiddle around with the tools here, you begin to feel just a little bit of hesitation. As the sorry, I'm trying to do all this stuff. As the pick itself kind of slips in to its position here, and you feel a kind of the twist. And the tumblers kind of are pushed aside, but it doesn't open the lock. It seems that you have defeated 1 hole, but there are still 2 remaining.
Story of my life.
Oh God!
Well played.
All right, I'll try the thieves' tools in the first hole.
So you're gonna take them out and put them in the first hole?
Yeah.
So you take the thieves' tools out, and you hear everything kind of click back into place as you put them in the first hole.
All right, so I'm getting that all 3 have to be open simultaneously.
Maybe.
All right, I'm gonna just remember that chest and continue to make my way up onto the deck.
All right, yeah, you got it, D1. Perfect. You kind of turn around, and in a moment, as soon as you turn around,
Oh shit.
just for a moment, D1, you see it. It's a large being that stands in front of you. But just as quick as you see it, it disappears. It's gone.
Interesting.
As you kind of continue to look around the room here, you notice that you're still alone. And you kind of blink your eyes a couple of times to make sure that you're seeing something that isn't there. You most certainly saw something. As you kind of wrestle with this idea. And before you actually go out onto the main deck, we're going to go back to Ronan just for a moment. And then we'll go back to...
Yeah.
Give me a second here. I should probably organize this better. I'll do that this week. This... All right, so Ronan, as you kind of continue to just kind of lay against the ship here, you notice there's just a void of wildlife out here. From what you can tell, it's odd. The birds are kind of not as abundant as you would expect. The ponds that are all around you, they're kind of completely stagnant and still. There's not any movement at all. You're just keeping your eyes open, kind of observing. Is there anything you'd like to do though, aside from that, in the moment?
I feel like I'd be sitting there just kind of keeping watch and maybe absent-mindedly playing with the displacer beast.
Oh, got you. Oh man, poor displacer beast doesn't know what's going on. As you continue to kind of stay here in this moment, and that you do hear it for a moment. The sound of something falling out of a tree, or like a nut or an acorn, or maybe the pitter patter of a rodent or something. You hear it just for a moment, kind of off your 5 o'clock.
I'll look in that direction.
Yeah, roll a perception check for me. What do we got here? 10. It's so hard to know what's out here, Ronan. There's trees everywhere, and as much as the hurricane damaged the area here, it's still very, very much so dense. The different shades of green kind of here and there, it's really hard to make out, especially if there's a creature that's that shade of color. It'd be so hard to see it. You don't make anything out, you just hear it. But then again, Ronan, as soon as you begin to observe in that direction, you also hear, kind of off maybe in your 10 o'clock, you hear another little through the forest as you kind of look back. You roll me another perception check, please. $12. What could that be, Ronan? It seems as though you just keep missing it. No. Yeah, it's probably a rodent or something. These swamps are full of that kind of stuff. What's that?
Yeah, it must have been the wind.
Must have been the wind, exactly. Yeah. All right. Is there anything at all that I don't want to, here's the thing. I want to give you time and I want you to do stuff. So I want you to tell me, is there anything you want to do aside from just kind of hanging out here in the moment? Anything at all?
I wanted...
Because you
I
have
want
your
to try and, train this displacer beast, but I have no fucking idea of how to go about that.
Yeah, it's currently, I believe, still levitating. So it's kind of in the air. It's kind of getting used to this, I guess, at the moment.
I think levitate only lasts for 10 minutes.
Yeah, how long ago did you do it? I can't remember. It was a while ago.
It was while we were in the cave, and it's 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, it's definitely hesitant, Ronan. It's not used to you. You're feeding it, and it's used to you in that way, and it you could tell that it still kind of doesn't want to be contained, doesn't want to be. It keeps pulling at the leash around its neck, kind of keeps yanking at you. But I would say in the case, or in the in the spirit of training, roll an animal handling check for me, Ronan, since you have the time out here. You're taking the time to do it, so let's see what happens. Oh my god, are you fucking serious? It's fucking natural 20.
Nice.
So Ronan, as you continue your kind of your very patient handling of this creature, giving it food here and there, and kind of treating it with calmness and softness, it finally, after a few moments of you looking around in the forest, the tree line, you notice, after looking down, it's actually sitting right beside you now, kind of just sitting there. It's looking at you, and you swear, Ronan, just for a moment, you swear you hear it purr. Because why not?
Just smile to myself and turn my attention back to watching.
Yeah, it just kind of stays there beside you. It doesn't seem to be bothered at all by you or your presence. It seems to be watching you in your every move as you observe the forest around you. You hear a creak for a moment, just a of wood, just for a moment. You assume it's probably just the ship settling, maybe, since it's actually teeter-tottered on the edge of this
Hi,
cliff.
everybody.
You kind of just continue observing here as we go back to Oliva and Brandy, who are in the hold of the ship, from what you can tell. As we perfect. As you kind of you both kind of keep an eye on your areas here, looking around, you get closer to the bow of the ship. Brandy, you hear the creaking for a moment, but then there's a second where you feel almost kind of woozy for a moment, like you're unbalanced for a moment, but then you come back to. You look down at your hand, Brandy, and you notice there's a little bite marks on there, probably from some insect. From your venture through the swamp.
Yeah. Damn swamp.
Yeah, it's true. As you kind of continue forward, even a little bit more towards the chest here, and you get within 5 feet of it, Brandy, before you feel, or rather you hear, the sound of the wood just a little bit more creaking around you. What would you like to do?
And I think I would be experimental. I would take little steps out and see how solid the wood is underneath my feet to see if I can't get to that chest.
Yeah. You take a couple steps. Oliva, you as well?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right. You kind of move a little bit forward. There's a moment where you feel your foot kind of sink into the wood just a bit. Just a little bit of resistance. And then you kind of press forward. And you get close. And you guys are so lucky. You get down real close and you see that the chest that's right in front of you here. It has a big lock on it. Quite a big lock. A very large keyhole, from what you can tell. It's much larger than a regular ordinary key. What would you like to do?
Gonna crack that bitch open.
At this point, unless there's something else to look at, I'm just kind of watching to see what she gets for all this effort.
I just want to pick that lock, man.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a lockpick. Use your thieves' tools.
My
for
thieves'
it.
tools.
Yeah. $17. Brandy, you kind of get in there with your thieves' tools, kind of getting used to this, and you notice right away there's an additional tumbler in there. There's 4 total, and you just can't crack it.
Can I try again?
You can.
I'm watching her try, and I say, I can always just break it.
And then let me do this. All right. You begin to kind of feel one of the tumblers. It's a little hesitant, but then it pops in, and then you kind of try to keep it pushed in while continuing on to the next tumbler. And as soon as you do it, you feel it release, and then it all falls through, and you fail the attempt, unfortunately. You do hear the wood around you, the deck, the ship begins to just creak a little bit more.
Doesn't really enjoy the weight that's on it. Yeah, I think I would.
I'd smirk and say, I can give it a shot.
Yeah, and I would take a 1 or 2 gentle steps back and say, "Okay, you go for it."
Yeah, Brandy, you take a couple of steps back. You hear that as you take a couple of steps back. Oliva, you get down in front of the chest.
Pause real quick.
Sure.
I think if you can tell me whether I can get away with this, I would use the. It's not the mall anymore. I forget what it turned into now.
The will of Oliva.
Yeah. I would try, if there's anywhere to do it, I would, and I may describe this poorly, put both ends on, if there's any kind of beam or something sticking out, so that way if the floor were to fall beneath me, I could grab it overhead. If there's anywhere to do that with.
That's smart, Oliva. That's smart. So you want to anchor yourself?
Yeah, if possible. If not, it's fine.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I would say yeah. If you want to kind of wedge the will of Oliva in between 2 planks above you, so that the handles
either wedging it or even
above
stabbing it into something, just that way I could grip it if I have to.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. Actually, we won't even make you do a check for it. We'll just say we'll allow you to do that. That's good thinking. So right above you, you find a couple of loose planks, and you kind of wedge the blade in between the one plank, and then you stab it into the other. You kind of wedge it up in, so it's nice and tight.
I'm sure
you hang on it for a moment. So you hang on it for a moment, so you can feel that it can hold your weight, and it most definitely can.
Sweet.
All right.
I'd look at Brandy and kind of smirk and say, I'm not very good at this, so don't expect much.
Well, apparently I'm not either.
Oh man. All right. You make your next attempt.
What am I rolling? Sorry.
Thieves' tools.
Okay.
Do you have thieves' tools?
I do.
Oh,
they are.
Perfect.
It's not very good.
Oh no.
That's all right.
And then let me do this. Oh, you guys are so lucky. You begin to roll around in the pick there. You can feel the tumblers, Oliva. You're trying to count them, see if it's like a normal pick, or rather a normal lock. And just before you begin to kind of push the tumblers down, it just all kind of you lose progress and you fail the pick, unfortunately.
All right, no worries. Kind of expected that one.
Big lock. You can tell it's a pretty big lock for you're not used to seeing a lock like this.
Yeah, so I just look at Brandy and just kind of shrug, like, eh.
All right. Perfect.
And I
Is
would-
there anything else? Yeah.
No, other than testing my weight on the nearest plank and
Yeah.
slowly removing the weapon so I can get back, hopefully safely.
All right. All right. You kind of remove your weapon from the planks above you, and you feel the ship kind of. There's just. You swear for a moment you feel there's just a little bit of movement. But you can't
I'd
be
freeze.
sure. Yeah, you can't be sure.
Yeah.
It's so hard to know because you're like in a room where you're looking around and you can see. It's hard to know. Roll a perception check for me. Ronan, Sato, or Ronan, D1, Aliva, and Brandy, all of you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to feel that movement, and I'm going to immediately ask Brandy, what do you know about drakes? Do they tend to return to their sites of conquest? Are they territorial?
Well, I hope not.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're the reason this place is halfway destroyed.
That would make sense.
The burn marks and those weapons over there, I'm pretty sure could be used to kill them.
There's definitely no people around.
And something just moved.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. All right. Ronan, as you stand here, you continue to kind of observe around you. Doesn't seem to be anything, except you notice a couple of just loud creakings from the wood of the ship.
Yeah.
You don't notice it. You don't think anything of it. D1, Aliva and Brandy, you kind of stop for a moment, and you feel fine, mostly. It was probably just I don't know, maybe it was the wind. D1, as you continue forward here, making your way outside onto the top deck, you notice just for a moment that the ship itself moves just for a moment forward before it resettles back down. You know what? I'll even give you this, Ronan. You're right beside the mast, the broken mast that's beside the ship that seems to be anchoring the ship. You notice that it turns just for a moment, just a bit, before it stops.
Oh, this will be entertaining.
Yeah.
All right, D1, we're back up to you. We are going to give you the moment here. Do you go through the door?
Yeah, I definitely will.
All right. As soon as you do, you notice there's and again, the candles are not lit. I couldn't get that to not happen, but it happened. So
Get all day out.
just imagine that. Yeah, it's true. Just imagine that those candles aren't lit. There are many barrels here. There's a couple of chests in this room. You notice all the netting and such draped around. It's clear that this ship has been commissioned in battle for here and there for several you can only guess how many years it's been out on the sea. You can tell it has war damage. It has wear and tear. D1 from your experience on ships as you kind of make your way out through the central area here. Is there
And
anything
now
you'd
it's
like?
a roost for an overgrown lizard.
I'm not gonna worry about the barrels because I'm assuming they're probably some kind of booze, but too heavy to carry out. But I'm gonna open whatever chests I find in the room.
Sure, D1. There is a chest kind of directly in front of you as you kind of move forward here. There's two actually. One is kind of a little larger than the other, but you can tell these are probably personal chests from maybe crew members or something. Do you want to kind of see if you want to open them up?
Yeah, I'll definitely try to flip them open.
Sure. How would you like to go about that?
Are they locked?
They are.
I'll start by trying the 3 keys.
All right. The big key is just too big to fit in any of these keyholes. The steel rusted key actually fits in both keyholes, and actually opens the left chest.
Oh, nice.
That chest actually, it seems as though it's just kind of a crewman's lockbox. You can tell that there's it seems to be a shirt and some pants in here. There's also a belt, a little rapier, maybe the size of, I don't know, it's very standard. Nothing special that you can tell. There's a set of boots. It's like a pirate kit. It's like a build your own pirate kit. No,
There you go, pirate disguise kit.
Pirate disguise kit. No, it's like a whole set. It's probably belonged to a crew member or something on the ship here. The chest on the right, however, does not open, not with any of the keys.
I'll try my lockpicks in that one then again.
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and roll thieves tools for me.
Ooh,
15. So as you kind of begin to move your hands around through the tumblers here, D1, you feel for a moment just a little bit of a slip, but just as you feel it, there's a pop, and you feel the lock itself give, and you succeeded. Congratulations. You open the lock, the chest. Inside, you find 151 gold pieces in a little cloth sack. There's also 16 gems.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. They're little green gems. There's 16 of them.
Got it. Okay, I'll definitely grab those.
Okay, nice. There's also a watch, a pocket watch in here.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll grab that too. Does it look like it's working?
It does. Actually.
Okay, yeah, I'll grab the pocket watch too.
It actually says 9 a.m. almost on the dot.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's all. And then I search through. I don't see anything else.
So in the chest here, mostly it's, aside from that, there's just a couple of pieces of scrap, some cloth in there. Probably, maybe, I don't know, maybe some wrappings of some sort, ceremonial. It's hard to say. It could be anything. It could be bandages for later. It's hard to say. Sea folk are used to kind of making clothing out of whatever they can. So this could just be a small collection of that kind of thing. Aside from that, yeah, exactly. There doesn't seem to be anything else of value in here, in this immediate room here, but you can continue forward. There's another room next to you.
Yeah.
Or rather further down the hall. As you kind of continue on your way here, you notice something peculiar as soon as you make your way in the room here, D1.
Oh, that thing is fucking creepy.
That's not little Beastie Blanca.
No.
That's the world's biggest fucking cat.
It is.
Yeah. He's gonna eat our livers.
But you notice it. As soon as you kind of walk into the section here, you peering out from behind a barrel, and then as you kind of walk even closer into the room, you see it, and it's not normal. It seems as though something is wrong with it. It's off a bit. Its face is not right. Its proportions are off. You notice it just for a moment, D1, and it you can tell that it's looking at you as you walk into the room, kind of closer to it.
I'm gonna sort of very slowly approach it.
As soon as you get within 4 feet of it, it vanishes instantly. Nothing in the room here. That you kind of look around, you kind of blink your eyes a couple of times. It's still on the screen. I know. I can't get rid of it right now.
Yeah,
but
no, it's all good.
In the moment, you kind of notice it doesn't seem to be there at anywhere. As you kind of get closer to it, you put your hands through the air there. There's nothing, nothing at all. Just some cannons here. and seemingly some gunpowder from what you can tell, as well as there's a chest here that's open, D1, kind of the lid's open, and you prop the lid open, and you notice that there are little lead balls as well as little packs of gunpowder in there, seemingly packs for something, which you would obviously know. I mean,
Yeah. I'll leave that for now. I'm gonna go back to, I think, where I seen the cat.
Yep.
And maybe try casting Detect Magic as a ritual.
Sure. So you're gonna kind of get down low on the ground here.
Yeah, sort of right near where the cat was.
Okay.
And see if I can detect anything magical around this area. So it'll take me 10 minutes to cast. But then it lasts for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And basically it's around me, I believe. Anything within 30 feet of me.
You begin to cast the ritual here as you look around in this room. Kind of seems to have sand in it and such from the storm. And that's where we're going to go ahead and go back to Ronan for a moment. Sorry. All right. Ronan. Oh God, give me a second. This takes me so long, you guys. All right, here we go. So, you feel, just for the moment, Ronan, you swear you feel the ship kind of against your shoulder, kind of just move up a little, just kind of boop, budge up a little, but then you kind of look back and it's fine. It seems fine. There doesn't seem to be anything now. So whatever that was, it's over. Kind of looking around, feeling the air out here, the humidity, Ronan, as it gets hotter and muggier. You feel the sun kind of rising in the sky, kind of just over the horizon now. A little bit up in the sky as it kind of beats down. You have a pretty clear little open sky area that is kind of beating right down in your direction here. As you can see that this is probably going to be a really hot day from what you can tell. What would you like to do, sir?
You mentioned earlier that the mast had turned a little bit.
It did.
I'm going to perform an experiment.
Sure.
Alright, so I am going to, I guess, is there anything nearby that I could tie the displacer beast to?
Oh, definitely. There are trees, there's shrubbery, there are rocks. You can definitely find something without any kind of check. Sure, you could find like a tree or something pretty close to nearby. How close do you want it to be?
I don't know, like 10 feet.
Yeah, okay. Sounds good to me. Go over to and with your natural 20, we'll go ahead and let that ride, and he just follows you over willingly without any problems at all. Because that dude, you got a nat 20. We got to make you. So he goes over, sits on the ground, and kind of looks up at you, like kind of expecting a little bit of food from you at the same time.
I'm pretty sure I have pocket bacon.
Nice.
But I'll have to
just give him a little bit of that. Yeah, he kind of starts digging in as you walk away. All right.
All right. Look at it. Point at it. Just wait. And then I'll walk over to that ship mast. And
yeah.
I am going to sink my polearm into it to create a lever.
Oh. Okay. Down into the dirt below it?
No, like into it itself.
Oh, into the mast itself.
Yeah.
Okay. Easily enough, Ronan. You, without any hits or anything, we'll let you do. It's big enough. I mean, you slam the end of the glaive down and you get a good couple of inches down the blade into the wood.
All right. I am slowly going to try and rotate the mast to see, like, if I get any resistance or notice anything like movement-wise from the ship, I'll stop.
Yeah.
But I want to try and figure out if it would be possible to counterbalance with it. Like if the ship starts teetering one way and I start turning on the mast a different way to counteract.
Maybe. Yeah, you could definitely try. At the moment, it seems to be really stable wherever it, like at its current position, but you can definitely attempt to turn it if you'd like to, just to see.
Yeah, I just want to nudge it one way or the other, just to figure out which way I would need to move it to do that.
Sure. Roll a strength check for me.
Oh, this ain't gonna be good.
It's pretty big. Oh no. A 3. You kind of like start to pull. It seems to be wedged underneath the root of a tree or something really, really well, Ronan. Like to the point where, this is a heavy piece of wood, and you could tell like wherever it is right now, it's pretty good. And it would be hard to know if you could actually make any real difference. If this was smaller, this would definitely be legit. But this mast is huge. I mean, you can't even put your hands around it, your arms around it. It's so big.
Yep, I'm going to call that experiment a resounding success.
It was a good try. Yeah, I liked it. It was good.
I figured out I'm too little.
But you do have your glaive in there in case,
Yep. I'm just going to leave it there.
Leave it there? All right.
This placer beast and sit down next to it.
Yeah, and he seems fine. He's just watching you. And just about that moment, you hear another little couple of clicks of branches in the forest line, maybe 13, 14 feet away from you. You want to roll a perception check for me. $13. Yeah, so as you kind of continue walking, you kind of move your head quick so you can kind of see if you see anything, and you do not. It seems as though whatever this noise this is has eluded you again, my friend.
It's so windy.
It is windy, yeah. A little breezy. Stuff's still settling, All right, perfect. So as we're going to go back to D1 here for a moment. We'll go back to Brandy and Aliva in just a moment. But we're going to go to D1. And you are... Actually, you know what? We are going to go back to them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Just do this. And... Whoops. As you kind of move back from the larger chest, Brandy and Aliva, there's a moment where the two of you kind of, your eyes meet, connect your eyes for a moment, and there's that tension. There's just a little bit there kind of in the background that no one's really spoken of, but it still exists, and you can tell just for a moment as you kind of meet eyes. But then you kind of continue on your kind of way forward here as you hear the constant creaks of the wood kind of as it settles or does whatever it's doing. And I'll give you guys the floor, whatever you like to do.
I mean, at this point, I want a vantage point that I can see out of the ship again. So my curiosity would already be sated. I'm done. I'd be heading back toward that hole.
Yeah, and honestly, we're on the same wavelength because I'm gently, gingerly, but quickly, I'm getting out of this ship.
Yeah, you got it, Brandy. Definitely. As soon as you start to move back, you notice... Sorry. right before you get out of the door, Brandy and Oliva, right before you get out, there's a chest there. You notice it. It's beautiful. It's a large chest. It's full of gold, just beaming with gold. It's just it's flowing out of it. It's bunched up on the sides of it in the front.
That wasn't there before?
It wasn't there before. As soon as you turn around and you go back towards the entrance, you notice it.
I would stop, freeze, point at it, say no, and then keep walking.
You gonna keep walking?
I'm walking past that shit. I'm
Yeah,
leaving
you got
this
it.
boat.
Yeah, you got it. Brandy, what do you do?
It's clearly a trap. I'm getting out of here.
You just go by it?
Yeah, we're not even glancing at that gold again. It's dead to us. It's not real.
I'll be honest, like, I've got money. I'm good. I want more. If I want something valuable, it would have to be more than gold. It would have to be like an artifact or information or something. Gold is nice.
Sure.
But I ain't dying for no gold pieces.
No, I love it. I love it.
Ain't no phantom kitty cat gonna tempt me with gold.
Yeah, you
No, that's
spookster.
perfect.
Give
That
me
was-
Trevor's head.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And you guys make your way out of the door, like you brush past the chest, and as soon as you brush past the chest, you notice that it just disappears in an instant, vanishes. As soon as you basically pay it no mind, you notice that it just goes away, and it back to the dark, damp kind of area here. As you make your way back out, and you notice Ronan kind of over by the forest edge, kind of with his displacer beast next to him. Kind of looking out at it, and he notices you, and you kind of all notice each other.
Yeah, I would kind of head toward him. My first words would be, "I hate this fucking swamp."
Me too.
Nice. Perfect.
Find anything valuable or interesting?
Ghost gold.
Ghost gold?
Chest appeared, full of gold. Wasn't there previously. Vanished once we passed it. Also, I'm pretty sure that the drakes we saw flying in the sky earlier were what took down this ship.
Would I
Anyway.
know anything about drakes if like, would they see a pirate ship and be like, ooh, I want that?
Roll a history check. I think you rolled one last time for drakes, but whatever. It's fine. Let's see. It's a hard question. A good question. 15. Drakes are kin to dragon as well. They're linked. They're relative, and they're all pretty intelligent creatures. And a dragon or a drake would definitely attack a ship if it thought that it had. Well, from numerous reasons, right? Like, certain dragons would attack a ship if it thought that it was doing something evil. Other dragons might attack a ship if they thought it was doing something good. You know, other dragons might attack a ship just simply based on the fact that it's carrying wealth and that it wants it. There are dragons that might pay it no mind because it's a lesser inferior creature. Doesn't mean anything to it. So it just continues moving on. So it's really hard to know, Ronan. With your 15, though, I would say in this case, it's hard to know. It's hard to be sure if this ship was brought here by the Drake or if this is just a coincidence that the ship landed here and the Drakes kind of passed over. It's really hard to know.
Just look at Oliva and say, well, they are pretty intelligent creatures, so...
There's weapons down in the hull that might be able to kill them. I
What,
describe them.
Oh.
Yeah, you do. Yep. She describes what you know as being rifles, blunderbuss, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Firearms.
Yep, firearms.
Didn't happen to grab any of those, did you?
No, I was a little bit worried that the flooring beneath me was literally about to give out, and then I saw a ghost chest of gold, and I decided that I didn't care much for the ship anymore. So no.
That's fair enough. I didn't care enough for this ship to begin with, so I won't blame you.
No, what's he doing? Is he still in there?
Yeah,
And-
you two are the only things that I've seen out here.
Just about that time, we're gonna go back to D1. Oh, I have that. Damn it! I do this all the time, and I don't know why, but I do it. Like... All right. We're gonna go back to D1.
The headcanon is real.
All right, D1. Sorry, the kitty cat is still not there, but as you kind of
so I just
get a good look.
cast the detect magic as a ritual.
Yeah. As soon as you do that, there's a twinkle. Sorry, I don't know how else to put it. There's a twinkle that happens kind of in the air all around you, and it kind of all it appears as though it almost presents itself like a bunch of fireflies in the area around you, just all around twinkling, and then they all kind of gather to one area, to one ball of kind of twinkling, and the ball itself begins to move. Do you follow it?
Yeah, I'll definitely keep my eye on that. I'll follow it to wherever it goes.
Yeah, so it follows downstairs, down at least one floor, and then down another floor, down to what you can assume is the hold of the ship itself. As you kind of get down closer to the bottom level of the ship here, you hear a sound coming from the corner. It's muffled, it's high-pitched, and this little ball of glimmering green light moves towards that direction, in between the barrels and the casks. Do you follow?
Yeah, for sure.
So the barrels themselves are quite big. You'd have to move them a little bit if you want to. You can do that if you want.
Yeah, I'll try to see if I can the top ones. I'll literally just roll off. Is that the 3 key chests there, or is that the other one?
All the way against the thing, but you wouldn't know that technically. It's all the way against the bow of the ship. That chest.
Okay. And
so
did I try to open that one? I can't remember.
No, so you haven't actually been down here yet. This is where where Brandy and Aliva were. This is where the hole is. So you'll be able to see the hole as soon as you come down here. You'll notice that there's a hole leading outside. There's some light coming in, but this ball is leading you in the corner, corner of the bow of the ship, kind of off to the left.
I'll try to pull and roll everything out of the way to see what's back there.
Sure. As soon as you begin to pull and roll, gosh, you guys are so lucky. Pull over some of the barrels here, and you hear the ship kind of creak a little bit. And you feel like there's a little bit of movement. It's not much. It's like a little bit of a sway for a moment. You almost feel like unbalanced for a moment, but then you kind of catch your balance and you make your way, and there's another little stack of casks, D1. Do you want to remove a couple of those too to get back there where the green ball is taking you?
Yeah, I'm going to roll everything towards the back land side of the ship, though.
Oh, you're going to slowly, like, kind of just move a couple near the back?
Yeah, and I might even try to take other things that look like they have a bit of weight to them that I can move, and try to stack everything, push everything to the back side of the boat as much as I can.
So you're just kind of moving normally as you do this, or are you kind of taking your time, or?
I'm trying to move fairly swiftly.
Okay, you got it. Let me do this. Okay. So D1, as you begin to kind of move some of the barrels, the larger ones, off the top and you roll them around, you notice the little ball of green glimmering light is leading you into the corner of the room, and it stops. It stops just before a couple of barrels. You take about 5 minutes here, I would say maybe a little less. If anyone outside wants to do anything in this amount of time while D1 is doing this, or you can go in, or you can do anything you want. And I just want to give you guys time while he's moving these around before we get to the next part. Is there anything that anyone wants to do before?
I think I would just look around the area that the boat is in, because I feel like we haven't really explored around the boat very much. And I would
love
just
that
want to
idea.
do like a kind of, what's happening, who's around,
Sure,
anything
definitely.
interesting.
Yeah, that's
Dangerous.
a great idea. Let's do that. Let's real quick D1 before we do that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
We're gonna just go out here. Let me. So all the three of you outside, if you would all, Ronan, Aliva, and Brandy, roll a perception check for me. Grumback is going to as well. He's been mostly quiet this whole time.
He has been.
Sorry about that.
I
No,
forgot
it's
he was alive. Aha!
Nice.
Damn,
Let's
with
see
a
what we
natural
got.
20, I don't beat the rogue.
Wow, dude. Oh my god, dude, you're naturals tonight, dude. Oh my god.
That's good.
All right. This is pretty great. So we'll start with Aliva first. Aliva, as you kind of stand here, you're so confused. You don't understand what's happening. You have all this weird stuff happening around you. Your weapon, the amulet. You had just had some very odd visions in a very odd cathedral or something with stained glass all around you and monks chanting and a weird shadow feet creature in front of you and something about safety, and it just doesn't make any sense to you. And now you're standing here in this swamp. The sun's starting to beat down on you, and you look around. You see all the damage and destruction from the storm. There doesn't seem to be any reason in your mind to be here in this moment, like by this galleon in this shit. Like, what does this have to do with your mission? You know, and you keep thinking, why am I here? But as you look around, you perceive the rest of your party members, the people you've been here with. They're very curious as well, but they're more curious about the contents in some ways about the contents of the inside of the galleon. Ronan has a look on his face. It's that you've noticed for a while now, but you really notice it now. It is it's focus. Like something's happening going on there behind his eyes, and you can tell. Brandy, you continue to look around here too. You notice there's a couple of little noises in the distance in the forest and the tree line that kind of move away. Some sounds of maybe falling something. But every once in a while, you'll hear the sounds like something is skittering through the woods. You can definitely tell. You know what it sounds like. And the last time that it happened, Brandy, you saw one of those little monkey creatures of climb up a tree. It's pretty far, probably about 40 feet away. But you heard it first, and then you looked, and you saw it make its way up a tree. And now it's just kind of looking at you from up in the tree, really far away. It doesn't seem to have any weapons or anything. It's just looking at you. It's pretty small. Ronan, as soon as you saw Brandy and Aliva come out, you noticed behind you the noises really, really quietly. And just out the corner of your eye, before turning your head completely, you saw them. It was about 8 of them total, Ronan. They're all up in trees, pretty far up in trees, but they're not doing anything. They don't seem threatening. They're just watching you. And there's little squeaks that you hear every once in a while, Ronan. And you feel like that's how they're talking to each other. They're definitely watching you. Aside from that, Ronan, there is one that's really close to your current position. It's smaller than the rest of them. This one has some like paint like underneath its eyes. So you're assuming it's intelligent. It's really close to your displacer beast. It doesn't seem like it wants to hurt it, but it's curious. It's just watching. It's maybe 3 feet away from it. You're pretty close to your displacer beast too, so it's pretty close to the both of you, but you could tell it's very curious.
Can I try to snatch that little bastard?
It's pretty well. It's too far to do that,
Okay.
but you can tell its eyes are 100% focused on your displacer beast. You can see it's like looking at its leash.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I want to attack it, but I am just going to be ready to attack it if it decides to get handsy on that leash.
Sure. Yeah.
Does Grumback comment on that?
Grumback is gonna look over at you, Ronan, very slowly, because he rolled really high too, and he's gonna say, "Do you see them in the trees?"
Yeah, by my count, there's about 8. Plus this little shit here makes 9.
I count 7 behind me. He's facing you, but his back is in the opposite direction of you, so you can't see where he's, from his direction, but he's telling you that he's counts 7 from his direction, and he says, "Yeah, it's best if we perhaps collect D1 and move through here. We don't want to fight with these creatures." As he looks around.
I think you might be right. I will turn to Brandy and Oliva. Did you guys see D1 in there?
No, I think he was maybe above us, tromping around.
Okay. Do we want to just holler for him, or I feel like we should get going. There's a bunch, like more than a dozen of those little.
We're attracting an audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
Yeah, okay. And just that time, D1, we're going to go to you real quick here.
Yeah.
Just because you were doing this, I want to make sure that you get your chance. Let me do this. And this is kind of happening just before what you guys are experiencing outside, so that it kind of lines up and stuff. All right, D1, you continue. Sorry about that. You continue to kind of move the crates here, the barrels, rather, around, and you move them near the back kind of portion of the ship here. And as soon as you begin to put a little bit of weight back there, you notice that the creaking isn't as it does not happening as much. It's not settling as much. Although you definitely feel there's like a tension in the wood. It's hard to explain. You would know though, because you spend a lot of time out there, out at sea and stuff.
Yeah.
And as you make your way closer to the corner of the room, D1, you notice there's a cage. And on the cage, in the cage is a little creature.
Interesting.
It's a new bestie. Let's collect all the wild creatures that we find.
If it's real.
Is it? Do I?
Is it
alive?
So your detect magic brought you. It seemed almost as though your detect magic was being used to guide you here.
Yeah.
Which is an odd thing to say, but whatever this creature is, as soon as you get close to it, you notice that it's radiating. It has magic just radiating from it. Whatever it is, it's a special kind of creature. It's hard to know what it is. I would say roll a history check, D1. Maybe you can identify it.
Okay. Ooh, 12.
12. It's so hard to say, D1. You know that all throughout the world there are creatures that exist that aren't documented, that are known for existing in powerful ways through the weave, which is as you know it. And I should probably explain what the weave is now that we're this far into the game. The weave is the connection to the ether, the magical connection to the ether. Everything that exists is connected to the weave in some way. Every magic item that you have is connected through the weave, which is how it's magical. So the source is another way that it's also known as a source. So everything that you have that's magical, that radiates magic, is connected through this kind of magical network of threads called the weave to the source. And the source is what gives everything its power. And these creatures, along with other creatures that you've come to know, D1, I'm going to give you this because your 12 is not bad. Is probably some kind of an ancient fey creature.
Okay. I'm gonna pick the cage up and I'm gonna bring it with me.
You gonna pick the cage up?
Yeah.
So as soon as you get close to the cage, you hear in your mind, D1. Give me one moment here. I gotta get the right stuff. You guys are so patient, and I love you for it. He says, scroll up, scroll up. It says to you in your mind, D1, I shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here. Get me out of here, and I'll give you something special as payment. And I'm saying it like this instead of like in some weird way because the language that it's speaking to you is in just little bits, D1. It doesn't. There's no emotion in its dialogue or anything. It's just very straight, flat, to the point.
I'm gonna try to communicate mainly through my thoughts. Maybe I'll even quickly cast message at him.
Yeah.
And just say, okay, hang on, I'll get you out.
He stops you and says, you hear, cage, enchanted, hurt, must find another way.
I'll cast messaging and say, I'll take the whole thing out. We'll figure that out later.
So yeah, so you're gonna go ahead and try and take the cage.
Yeah, how big is it and how heavy?
It's pretty small. So the cage itself is, I'm just trying to like give you, it's like a bird cage, I would say. It's like a pretty equivalent to a bird cage. It's a pretty small little creature. So just imagine so like a bird cage with a little hook on the top. And it seems to be, it's not hooked to anything. The picture's bad, but it just has a little bit of length of rope on the top of it. It's hung to the side. But as soon as you grab for the cord, D1, the cage doesn't budge. It doesn't budge. Like it's part of the wood, but not below it. It's like, it's what it feels like. It doesn't even move an eighth of an inch. I mean, it doesn't have any give.
What abilities do I have that could help that?
So after about 20 seconds, you kind of sit here and you're thinking. You begin to hear the wood start to creak again. Little pieces above you. There's like dust that seems to fall a little bit from above you.
Okay, can I try to open the cage?
There doesn't seem to be any latch anywhere, D1. Roll an investigation check for me, though.
Okay.
What is that?
Nice.
Oh, nice job, D1. You're the man, dude. So, D1, as you kind of, your first instinct is to kind of just take the bars and just rip the bars apart. But you notice there's some kind of magic at work here. You kind of move your hand along the outside edges of the cage, along the bands, if you will, and you notice almost immediately as soon as you do, you get close. There are runes all along the upper bands. These two bands here. Do you see these bands? There are runes that are surrounded, that surround the creature.
Okay.
And the runes themselves, to you, appear to be some kind of ancient dwarvish or something. Although it's odd to you that this would be being used in a capacity like this, as you know from your travels, because we already been through this with the ancient dwarvish. You knew that they weren't all about enslaving and things like that. So this is very, very odd and out of the ordinary. But whatever this is binding this creature into this cage.
Okay. If I try to like refit and like, can I try to like break the floorboards and like bring the part of the floorboard with the cage?
I love that idea, dude. As great of an idea as that is, it seems as though the magic is a giant sphere around the creature. So it's almost like it's bound to this spot in space. So you can't manipulate it at all. You need to take, basically, in other words, force won't work. There's some other answer to it. Yeah. And he tells you this kind of in your mind, that there's another way. Search for another way.
I'm gonna cast message again and say, do you know how I can move you?
There's a moment where you don't hear anything in your mind, and then there's just the feeling of sadness, and then you see a picture in your head for a moment, and it seems to be of your party members looking down over a cliff, and half of a ship above the cliff and half of a ship smashed down below onto the rocks, and then it kind of, your mind kind of is given back to you.
Careful.
The creature's like ears kind of get down real low, like it's almost sad, it's submitting.
Like it feels the ship is gonna fall?
Yeah.
Does it seem like if I cast levitate on the cage that would break it?
You can try to. Although, as soon as you begin to think about it, the creature kind of looks at you and shakes its head no.
Gotcha.
And now we should take a break at this moment so we can pee, because, we're human.
Because biology.
Yes. So let's take a break. We'll be right back. That'll give you some time to think as well.
With 30 minutes
yeah.
left. Let's take a break now.
I know. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm sorry. All right. We'll
No,
be right
okay.
back. Okay.
Sounds good.
Boo.
So some little fey creature, huh?
Yeah. Isn't he cool?
So far.
I don't know. He might be
I didn't say I trusted it.
look at the way the AI did the cage around him. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Yeah, AI has weird priorities sometimes.
It does, man. I'm so grateful for it though, because dude, it allows me to do stuff like this. Like, dude, AI is so great for D&D. It's so great for like the pictures and stuff. But you could tell like the bars are around its head and stuff. It's very weird.
I mean, it's a useful tool.
It is.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
All right, is everyone here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm here.
Nice. D12P and you. Uh-oh, are you there? I don't hear him. I think your mic's doing weird stuff. If you just want to, like... Yeah, we don't hear you, bud. I don't know what's going on.
You're lighting up on Discord like you're talking, but we're not hearing anything.
Yeah. Hello? Oh shit, still not.
Yeah. Is there a independent like mute on your headset?
Or mic or something. That's what's happening. What the fuck is happening? Very weird. Yep, you got it, man. No worries. Take your time. We will take this moment to go back to, if you guys are all ready. Well, I guess we should wait until he's ready to record, huh?
Yeah. You can hear us and it is still recording.
That's so weird, man. I wonder what's going on with your mic. It's fucking weird. All right, well, let me just, I'll go ahead and go back to those guys real quick, and we'll see if we can get you figured out. And if we can't by the time we come back to you, then we'll just end the session there, and we'll come back next time, and we'll come to you. So we'll do that. So we'll go back to Brandy and Oliva quick. Who actually, you guys are all three together outside, so let me just do that. All right, so nice. So Oliva and Brandy, you are walking towards the entrance. Are all three of you walking towards the entrance?
pardon.
Oh, like the entrance to the ship?
The hull, yeah. Or just
The
to
hull?
try and locate D1. Is that what the plan was?
I don't think I would be on the D1 search party. I think I would be on the scout party. I'm keeping an eye out on our monkey friends, is what I would do.
Yeah, I
Oh,
thought we were all
perfect.
just chilling out here waiting.
Oh, is that what we're doing? I'm sorry, I must have misunderstood.
We all
I
kind
wasn't
of
sure.
said, "Hey, let's get him," and then none of us really took the initiative.
Yeah,
On that.
Yeah,
I
because
wasn't sure.
I wasn't gonna be the one. Now, you know what I could do, and I thought about this before break. I think maybe what I would do is summon Bitters and send her in to,
Okay.
because she's not gonna step on the floor, right? So she
Yeah,
can.
no, that's right. Yeah,
She can
that's
fly
totally right.
in, and try and
Oh,
get
good thinking.
D1's attention.
Okay, yeah, that sounds perfect, actually. So, if you want to, excuse me, we'll send Bitters in, and Bitters will go right into the area that you were.
And I would just tell her to try and get D1's attention to and whatever that means for an owl. Is she flying over to him and just her presence? I would hope would be enough.
Wings in his face.
Yeah, I feel like if he saw the owl fly in, that he would kind of know, hey, maybe something is going on that I need to see outside.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what we'll do
on the
is
head.
we'll go over to D1, and we'll have
Can you guys hear me now?
nice, yes, we
Here you
can.
know.
There he is,
Okay,
yeah.
I just switched to my headset.
Yeah, sorry, man, I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah,
Weird.
my mic just turned off. I don't know why. I'll have to probably restart my computer to do it.
Yeah, well, we're almost done. I'm glad. That's like perfect timing. So so Bitters is going to come back over to. She's going to see. You see through her eyes, so you could see like the barrels moved around, and you can see D1 in the corner. And so as soon as you do, D1, you see Bitters. You hear her kind of flapping up behind you, and then you look over and you see Bitters there. And Bitters, you now see Brandy. You now see through Bitters' eyes what D1 is looking at. You see the creature.
Okay. I have an idea that might work. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm gonna take my ring of Madrid.
Yes.
And I'm gonna place it on the ground, and then I'm gonna wrap both my arms around the cage, so I'm hanging on to it. And I'm gonna try to suck myself into my genie ring.
Oh, that's fucking awesome, dude. Okay. You want to do that?
Yeah, I'm gonna try it.
You're gonna explain this to me one more time so I get this right.
Yeah, so I'm gonna hang on to the cage, and me and anything I'm holding on to should go into the ring when I teleport myself into the genie ring.
That's perfect. Okay.
And see if I can bring me and the cage both into my ring.
Yep. Let me do this. Nice. Do that. All right, hold on 1 second, okay? Just one second.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for this, guys. Thank you for being patient. You all rock. Uh-oh, shit. Sorry, I had a weird thing happen there. Give me 1 second. Roll20's been so weird lately, you guys. Don't understand it. Uh-oh. Is that working? All kinds of stuff going on tonight. All right. Damn. All right, D1. So.
Yeah.
Roll 20. There we go. God damn it. Perfect. All right, perfect. D1, as soon as you kind of cast the spell, or rather, you use the ability, it's your ring, your genie ring thing.
Yeah.
You are instantly...
I can link it to
Instantly, you're teleported into your genie room, D1. You can see that, right?
I can.
Okay, perfect. And as soon as you are teleported into your genie room, the creature itself is teleported with you without the cage.
Okay.
So well done. Really good thinking.
Nice. Now what do I do?
There's a moment where the creature looks around. It looks up, it looks down. You can tell now it's this tiny little creature. It has these very, very large kind of bat-like ears that kind of stretch out. They're very expressive. And as soon as it looks up at you, it begins to talk to you kind of telepathically. And you hear, "Where have you brought me? Have you taken me out of one prison and brought me to another? What is this place? What have you done?"
I'm gonna tell him using message if I have to.
Yeah.
This is a safe place. If you'll be safe in here, I can get you out in the morning.
The creature looks around. Looks around at all the extravagant cushions and the stuff around you. Looks up at you and says, "Why have you brought me here?"
To get you out of that cage and off that ship before it crashes down on the rocks below.
It seems to look at you as though it doesn't quite understand as it looks around. Are we
pull
still?
Out, one of the rations from my backpack,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna take out 2 of them. Actually, I'm gonna give him the 2 rations. And I'm gonna say, just hold tight here. I will be back in a few hours. And then I'm going to leave him in the bottle, and I'm going to expel myself out.
Nice. All right, let me.
Better watch all that happen. He's like, "What the fuck?"
You're like, what's going on here?
So D1, you are kind of brought back in front of the cage here that seems to be empty now. It's the cage itself standing here. I can't show you because it still has the creature in it, but the cage here sits empty in front of you. As you kind of look over and you see Bitters next to you. Brandy, you just saw all this happen. You saw him hug the cage, both him and the creature disappear, and then D1 come back by himself. It was very odd.
Yeah, I mean, kind of par for the course, I guess, for us, but that was strange.
Yeah, and just about this time, D1, you kind of look over, you glance over, you see this giant chest at the bow of the ship, but at just about this time is when you hear it, the creaking. It begins with very, very subtle of the wood.
Okay, is this chest locked as well?
The one on the very end, it is locked, and it has a very large keyhole. And just before you begin to move in that direction, you can feel the ship begin to creak more beneath your feet. You hear it all around you making sounds. What would you like to do?
I am going to cast Levitate on the chest.
On the chest? On the big chest?
Yeah, on the big chest.
Okay. Can you do me a favor? Link levitate for me one more time? Because I just want to make sure I get this right. The ship is really making noise now. Levitate one creature or loose object of your choice that you can see. Okay, perfect. D1, you begin to cast levitate on the chest, and the moment that you begin to cast levitate, you feel the ship itself, there's tension that kind of is released just a bit. You hear the wood kind of back to place as the chest just kind of like just gently floats above the planks.
Okay, I am going to try to beeline it back out the way I came to the back of the ship. And I'm gonna push the balloon chest with me as I go. All
right. So you have to go to the back of the bow of the ship in order to get the chest to push it. Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. All right, D1. As soon as you step in that very spot to try and give yourself a little boost with the chest, you feel the ship begin to slowly move. It starts to move down, and you could feel it kind of teeter-tottering. You on the outside, you begin to see the mast of the ship that's been sitting alongside of it. It begins to start to twist just a bit. Ronan, your glaive begins to move with it just ever so slightly. It starts to move maybe from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock before it stops because of Ronan's glaive that's stuck in the side of it. It stops on the land. The land is kind of, the blade is stuck in the side of the mast, kind of holding it upright. And the ship itself stops, and you can see it kind of just jerk for a moment as it just sways just for a moment over the cliff. D1, you feel this inside. Would you like to proceed?
I'm gonna try to keep, because I'm moving towards the back of the ship. So my weight should hopefully be going towards the back, and I'm gonna really hightail it.
So this is the worst part right now that you're at. So you're moving towards the back of the ship, right?
I'm moving towards the back quickly as I can and pushing the chest. Yeah.
All right. So as soon as you begin to move in that direction, you hear and there's just another moment, Ronan, you see the mast begin to kind of twist, and you hear the tension of the wood. I wish I had the sound effect. I tried to find it and I couldn't. The wood is kind of tensing up like a rope, like the sound of a rope. As you kind of take a moment here, Ronan, do you see this happening? Is there anything you guys on the outside want to do?
I would try to grab the glaive and tell Aliva to do the same. Maybe we can help.
You want to try and hold it stable?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to make much headway on that. But
no, so if you want to, both roll a strength check or one with advantage. I'll let you choose.
I think we both got noodle arms.
Yeah. I would initially look like I was, prepared to like step back, like now he's on his own. But then Ronan's like, "Help me!" And I'm like, "Oh damn! I guess I like Ronan." So strength.
I guess we'll both do one.
It's up to you. Whatever you guys want to do. Yep. All right.
Strength.
Ronan with the 15. All right, Aliva, let's see.
You got this.
Oh, I do.
You don't
so
got
Ronan
it.
goes up there and starts to. He sees the situation. The situation's dire, and that's really good. 15's really good for Ronan. So Ronan goes up there, and kind of just for a moment channels his strength and wraps his arm around the pole and their glaive a bit. Just begins to just stabilize it a bit, and that 15's really good. That was the DC, by the way, for you. Aliva comes in and she slips last minute, just kind of unfortunately she wasn't in time, but Ronan got there. And D1, just as Ronan gets there and helps you, roll a dexterity check for me. You're gonna add 2 to your roll because of Ronan's help.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it reduces on my side, I should say. Oh, that's a save. That's a save. Well done. That's amazing how that worked out. Yeah. All right, cool. So D1, as soon as you feel the ship begin to kind of rock back down a little bit, you kind of book it, and you're pushing the chest, and you make it out of the crack, the hole in the side of the ship, just in the nick of time. The whole kind of front of the ship begins to kind of sway even more, and you see Ronan begin to he begins to kind of move his arms, and you could see him he's struggling, trying to keep it upright for you. And as soon as he sees you kind of come out the entrance with the chest in front of you, Ronan, you let go, and the whole mast along with the whole front end of the ship completely falls down into the ravine below. Every part of the ship is just shattered on the rocks below. As you all look down, you can see the bits of splintered wood and the bits of the chests and the barrels, and just bits of cloth and everything from inside the front of the ship, as the back half of the ship continues to rest on the cliff itself.
Damn, that was close.
Well done. Well done.
So another question for you: that 3-lock chest, was it?
That's what you have.
Oh, that's the one I have.
That's the one you have. Yeah, it's
okay.
a 4. It has 4 little. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 3. Yeah, my bad. That's what I meant.
The one with 3 locks that I tried the middle one on, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go up to the rest of the people and say, "Holy fuck." Then I'm gonna look at them and say, "This chest has 3 locks, and I'm assuming it has to be opened simultaneously. We could bring it with us, or we could try to open it here. But either way, we're done with that fucking ship."
Glad you made it
Peering
out.
over the edge, looking at it with a shit-eating grin on my face.
Nice, Ronan. Yeah, it was good. You helped so much. You don't even know how much you helped, but you helped.
Yeah, that was a close one. I don't even know if I could have levitated myself, because I would have hit the roof. It was underground, under the bottom part of the ship.
Oh, that was scary. That made me nervous. It did.
Yeah.
I thought you were dead.
But that's a space you
Oh,
can
no.
see.
Jesus.
Featherfall. I can, but then if I get drugged down by an item, I don't think me not falling would help.
Yeah, so in front of you, you have this big chest, Brandy, the one that you were working on, you and Aliva were working on.
Yes.
That you couldn't unlock, and you stand here and you look at it, and it has a really big keyhole.
Yeah, did I not already try all 3 of my keys on that?
No, this one you hadn't gotten your hands on. This is the one that Aliva and Brandy had
the one
down
that
in the
you
hold.
found, D1, was up top where you entered. The one that Aliva and Brandy found was at the bottom where they entered.
Yeah.
Okay, question. That one that I found originally, did it fall off the cliff? Was it in part of the ship that fell off the cliff, or would it still be in the back half?
No, it's still in the back half. Yeah.
Okay, I'm actually gonna say, hey, I'm gonna put that chest down with my levitate right in front of the 3 of them.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, see if you guys can open this damn thing. And then I'm gonna kind of give like a fucking fucked up sarcastic look and say, I'm gonna go back on for a second.
Wait a moment. I'd kind of gesture to the others and be like, we're being watched. Is there a way we can get these things and leave and explore them later?
There might be. I think they're too big to stuff into the bag of holding, and my levitates will only last 10 minutes, which isn't going to get us far with them.
I mean, I can put them in the portable hole.
I could put them... I could take 10 minutes and do a tensor floating disc, which could get us out of here with them.
I'll unfold the portable hole and lay it out on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
Forgetting we have this.
And Brandy, as they do this, Brandy, you notice behind you with your passive perception, you hear kind of high squeaky noises coming from the tree line.
Uh-oh.
Just once in a
Okay.
while. Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
just be a sec, guys. I'll just be a sec. And I'm gonna climb back up the same way I came in onto the backside of the boat.
Throw my hands up.
I'm like, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, so
I mean, that's the part that stayed up here, so it should be stable.
yeah, it's the whole front of the ship is gone. You can see there are like bits and pieces that are
Bitters made
You
it
know.
out of that, right?
Bitters made it out. Yeah. Reeks, you monster. So as you begin to climb up D1, you notice you can see all the levels of the ship kind of if you kind of stand off to the side. It's taken a very large portion of the top half of the deck off the top, this portion as well. Kind of, if you were to look at it, it's almost like an upside down L is what you have left of the ship.
I'd say that was a W.
Yeah, I'd say that was a W too. It's pretty good, pretty good. You look in. There's some of the paintings and stuff and everything are still there, but there are a lot that are gone, that are just ripped away. The chest is still in there, the one that had the 3 locks on it. You do have in your possession a number of keys. A very large key. You have a silver key that did work on one of them, and then you have a little copper key as well.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna pass all 3 of the keys to the 3 of them.
Yep.
I'm gonna say, here, try these on this chest.
On the big one that you levitated out?
Yeah, on the one that I levitated out, and then I'm gonna turn around and haul my ass back into the ship.
Who do you pass the keys to? Just all of everyone?
Yeah, I'm just gonna hand it to whoever reaches out for them.
All right. So who takes what keys and tries what?
I'll grab all 3 keys.
Okay. Are you just going to start putting them in and see?
Yeah.
Okay. So the biggest key seems to fit perfectly into this lock. The one that Sato D1 gave you from up above. And you can feel it takes some strength to turn the key, but you can feel it hit all the tumblers. And as soon as it does, you hear high-pitched squeaks kind of coming from behind you. You can also see in the trees across from you, Ronan, up high in the tree line, there's probably 13 or 14 of these creatures kind of just up high, just looking down at you in the boat. As well as, now that you have a good look to your left, to kind of your 10 o'clock, you can see there's a gathering of maybe 14, 15 of them just huddled around a tree about 30 feet away from you. And now they're just looking at you from over the brush, and they're not being that exposed. But just about this time, the lid pops, and you can hear the lid opens a little on its own. And that's where we're going to end the session for this evening.
Bum, bum,
Dun
bum.
dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Nice job, guys. Nice job. You handled that really well. I was legitimately concerned that somebody was going to die in the ship, but that was well done. That was good thinking about trying to get about getting him out. I was wondering how the hell you were going to do this.
Yeah, it was a good time for a break to look through my ship.
Nice, man. Nice. All right.
I honestly
Well,
didn't expect that to work.
it was
figured
crazy.
It might transport everything and kill that thing, but
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, everyone have a great week, and we will see everyone next Thursday.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Peace out.